This is a Project B.A.I.T. news analysis, the Rambo Report for my people. As you know, we've been on the air a long time. We went on the air initially December 6, 1970, Sunday at 11:30, and been on ever since, okay? And during that time, a lot of changes have occurred in the production and the technology of producing for my people. Originally, we used to produce the show out at Channel 50 in their studios. They had a small building, relatively speaking, for TV studios. And we went out there every Saturday and produced out there. We produced in their studios, and we had, at times, 15, 20 people there working on the show. Camera people, tech people, interns, floor manager, costume people, the whole 9 yards, all right? We were, as such, on the plantation. I mean, we produced the show there. They had all the equipment. They even had backup personnel. Initially, we couldn't touch any of the equipment. All we could do is be the talent out front. And the one position that wasn't covered by their union contract, all right? That is the director. So that was all that we had. Initially, for one show, we even used their director. And then after that, said, no, we're not, we'll take the mistakes. That's one thing you have to do. You have to have the courage of failure. And we started, it didn't matter how good the person was. And this person we brought in had all the education, but I mean, obviously back then, couldn't get a job. So we brought her in, Sharon Brown, sat her down, and she was our director, our first director. Well, as such, our second director was, the first director was a fellow that worked for 50. Then after several years, we kept struggling with the union, and finally the union had some problems, diversity problems, and they relented and let us handle the equipment, the technical parts, jobs. And as you know, and this is still the case, black folks have had a long struggle to get into technical jobs anywhere. Okay, plumbing, electrical, stonework. Well, the same was true in the TV industry. And they didn't want blacks anywhere near skilled positions. And the union contract essentially forbade even interns. So eventually, through struggle, that got changed. And management as such didn't care, but the union cared. They thought we were going to, quote unquote, take their jobs. You know, same old nonsense, all right? So through the years, that changed. Well, right along with labor changes, there were administrative and technological changes. So that eventually, the owners of the TV station, Channel 50, and they changed ownership at least have changed ownership at least a half a dozen times since we've been involved with them. Well, it finally got to the stage where they could technologically use a lot more robots. So they began to use less and less union personnel actually at the station. In fact, it got to the point, it's at the point now where they can run the entire program with one or two people. You know, one person in master control and a janitor, you know, to take care of maintenance, one maintenance person. So, you know, actually I've never discussed this with you because it wasn't part of our content. So the fellow, the neighbor, asked me, do we use a teleprompter? Well, out at Channel 50, we did for a hot minute for our open and close. But then after that, we stopped using the teleprompter, okay? And here, no, I don't use the teleprompter. I make notes, study my notes, and then make a delivery. So eventually, the administration, after they cut down all their uh, union personnel and skilled people, they said we had to produce somewhere else. So now we found a place in the city, got our own studio, which is, and we've moved a couple of times. I mean, time brings about a change. And so we got our own equipment and we produced the show off the plantation. And then our engineer packages it, turns it over to them. They reformat it to meet their um, technological needs, and then they distribute it over their station. With the advance in computer technology, we are now moving to you can access the show online. And there's been a change in technology, in economics, in ownership. Uh, and in essence, the change is continuing. Change is inevitable. And if you have any other questions, please ask them about anything about For My People or Project B.A.I.T, because we believe in transparency. This has been another Project B.A.I.T News Analysis, the Rambo Report, For My People.
6th Annual Concept East Black Theater Conference and Exhibition, Saturday, June 17th, featuring producers, directors, writers, publicists, marketing experts on Saturday, June 17th at the International Institute, 111 Kirby Street in Detroit, Michigan. Student and senior admission $10, general admission $20. We'll see you there, and remember, like us on Facebook.
The Saturday Irregulars, an urban think tank, meets weekly from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. across the street from Belle Isle at the northeast intersection of East Jefferson and East Grand Boulevard. No leaders, no elections, no officers, no dues, no in-groups. Thinkers and students are welcome. A choice, not an option.
This is a Project B.A.I.T News Analysis Rambo Report, For My People. As you know, once upon a time, we had a lot of folk, when we got started, presenting news. We had news segments. In addition, we had in-person interview segments. That's when we got started out at Channel 50. Actually, in the middle of the year, somewhere in July or August. And we had an original crew that worked with us. Well, those folk came out with us from Concept East Theater, 401 East Adams. And the stalwarts there came out with us to Channel 50. I mean, if you can do acting on the stage as such in our little theater, then you can certainly read news segments, Afrocentric news, and presentations. And we did that for maybe a decade or so, probably longer, maybe 2 decades, which is a long time, all right? Well, recently, one of our originals, Kamamu Abubakari, passed. And I went to his funeral a few weeks ago, a week or so ago. He was one of our originals. He and his wife, Dijanaba, were both part of the crew that came from Concept East Theater, and Damani, with his own theater group, Afrocentric Theater, came out and helped us produce the show. And not only that, we also worked together on theater for a long time. He produced a number of plays, wrote and produced, and he provided me with the honor of proofreading his work. In fact, we were in the proofreading process on his essays and poetry in the months before he passed. And it speaks to the concept of change. That none of us obviously are going to be here forever. And that is why we've always tried to have a team which makes the difference, okay? And to share whatever resources we have. And when I was at the ceremony, celebration, I wrote this item for him, and for this I'm going to read it. This is for Kamamu. Now, he had 3 names. I knew him by 3 names. I have 3 names: a first name, a middle name, and a last name. You probably have a number of names, first name, last name. In his case, when I originally met him, when we first got introduced, his name was Stanley Smith. Then, in terms of struggle, he changed it to Demon Smith. And then finally, it became Kamamu Damani Abubakari. That was when he went into his full-blown Afrocentric consciousness. And that is why I wrote it for Kamamu. And here is, I guess, what I would call my tribute. This is a strange place, yet I've been here before, and will return at least one more time. A few words and then no more. We rode through the city to get here, not recognizing it at all. And now here, I do not know my friend who is here today. I knew Kamamu before he changed his name, and changed his name. We did theater together. We helped each other become who we were. We trusted each other, and that is special. It is difficult to find someone you trust. My colleague was authentic, creative, articulate, and genuine. He was special. And now I am entrusted to say farewell. And I do that reluctantly. The curtain falls, the applause ceases, the journey ends. Slow fade to black.
The Saturday Irregulars, an urban think tank, meets weekly from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. across the street from Del Isle at the northeast intersection of East Jefferson and East Grand Boulevard. No leaders, no elections, no officers, no dues, no in-groups. Thinkers and students are welcome. A choice, not an option.
6th Annual Concept East Black Theater Conference and Exhibition, Saturday, June 17th, featuring producers, directors, writers, publicists, marketing experts on Saturday, June 17th at the International Institute, 111 Kirby Street in Detroit, Michigan. Student and senior admission $10, general admission $20. We'll see you there, and remember, like us on Facebook.
This is another Project B.A.T news analysis, the Rambo Report for my people. Recently, there's been a lot of discussion, and it's bled into the media about the lack of diversity at Wayne State University and the lack of achievement of black students who are enrolled at the university. And recently, Bankalore Thompson has made comments on the radio about it. And he and other members of the community have scorched the current African American president of Wayne University, M. Roy Wilson, to the extent that it is reported, at least, that Wilson, the president of the university, contacted the Livonian, our mayor, our so-called mayor, to converse, to consult with him. Well, the reports indicate that the mayor talked to one of his aides, a so-called community activist, to get involved, and the activist wanted to meet with the president and the mayor, doubtless to further his own interests. Well, we've been discussing the situation and acting on black affairs and involvement at Wayne State University for decades. In fact, we've had several pickets of the Hillberry Theater as well as the Bonsdale Theater on the Wayne State University campus. We originally did it in conjunction with our theater people, because we were involved in theater and Concept East Theater and Afrocentric Theater. So we leafleted the Bonsdale Theater about their racist shows that they had there, and the fact that the only place where they did black so-called plays was at the Bonsdale on Woodward, and in the Studio Theater, in the black box theater that they have in the basement of the Hillberry. Now, the Hillberry was started, the so-called Hillberry Classic Theater, was started at least 40, 50 years ago, okay? And recently, this past month or so, it's for the first time, number one, that they've ever produced a black play by Lynn Nottage, a New York playwright, titled, By the Way, Meet Vera Stark, with a black director who is head of the Black Theater program at Wayne State University, which we picketed and leafleted and demonstrated for back in the 1970s, in the early 70s, 71, 72, 73. And we negotiated with the then head of the theater department, Leonard Leon, to start the Black Theater program back then. The Black Theater program predated Black Studies, which came later in the 70s, which other folk eventually got. Well, a couple years ago, we got the word that Wayne was going to destroy the Black Theater program. They were going to end it, okay? And they were going to smooth, and this is how the system operates. They were going to smooth it into what is called the multicultural programming. So we started demonstrating again at the Hillberry, okay, and we put that online. It's online on our website, Concept East Theater on Facebook. And we were going to keep that up. And interestingly enough, when we did it, we're out there picketing. They have the Wayne State University police down there to keep an eye on us, 2 or 3 cars. You know how the drill goes. Theoretically, the police going to intimidate us. And we filed a discrimination suit with EEOC. They have an EEOC office down there. We filed a suit. They, of course, dismissed it. But they didn't eliminate the Black Theater program as a result of that. We also put out the message over the internet to the allegedly black Board of Governors members at Wayne State University. We attended some of their sessions as well to let them and the public know that no, we're interested in black theater. We're not interested in white theater or the multicultural theater. We're interested in black theater. If the other cultures wish to move on Wayne State, fine. That's, the sidewalks are there. I mean, if our position was if black folk can't act on the stage, we'll act out on the sidewalks of Detroit. And that we did. So I would suggest that M. Roy Wilson, whom I've seen at the Black Plays with his wife at the Bonstelle a couple of years ago. So he is aware of, or should be aware of, the Black Theater program at Wayne State. As a result of this current disagreement, we have developed an up-to-date 2017 list of suggestions, because we don't make demands, we just make suggestions to them that we think we have 13 suggestions to improve the black theater program at Wayne State. And you'll be hearing about them both on this program and perhaps on the sidewalks outside the Hillberry Classic Theater again. This has been another Project B.A.I.T. News Analysis, the Rambo Report for my people.
Sixth Annual Concept East Black Theater Conference and Exhibition, Saturday, June 17th, featuring producers, directors, writers, publicists, marketing experts on Saturday, June 17th at the International Institute, 111 Kirby Street in Detroit, Michigan. Student and senior admission $10, general admission $20. We'll see you there, and remember, like us on Facebook.
Little Rock Baptist Church. Come and receive your blessings at the historic Little Rock Baptist Church, 9000 Woodward Avenue, 313-872-2900. Worship services are 10 a.m. and Sunday school 8:45 a.m. Enjoy an experience that will warm your heart and feed your spiritual soul. Little Rock Baptist Church.